Hi Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast for December 12th through the 19th. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We are coming up on full moon energy. On the 19th, there will be a full moon in Gemini. So sometimes the full moon energies can be, stirring things up, activating things, bringing things into, movement. So we're going to see what's coming up here for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Any messages from Spirit for the Aries collective? One more shuffle. Okay, my dear. Let's go ahead and see what we have coming up here. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. First card coming up for Aries is the Page of Wands. So this energy might be making you guys a little bit more ambitious, a little bit feistier. Page of Wands for me sometimes comes in like a second adolescence. So if we're talking about releasing, coming into full moon energy, then Page of Wands would very much to me feel with the vibe of out with the old but in with the new. Like you're already looking ahead. You're already looking ahead at what you're wanting to do, what you're wanting to accomplish, what you're interested in. Page of Wands, as I said, like a second adolescence. So sometimes we might even be coming into like ways where we're reinventing ourselves, like changing up how we dress, changing up what we do with our hair. Maybe you're wanting to do more glam kind of stuff. Maybe you're wanting to be more natural. Maybe you're wanting to change like the aesthetic of your style and how you dress or how you present yourself to be. Page of Wands, I do feel a very inspired energy coming off this card for Aries. So some of you might be encountering someone that maybe you're seeing them as the Page of Wands, very youthful, very spontaneous, very driven, and it might be inspiring you, like you're feeling very inspired by this person and it's helping you get back into your creativity. I feel some of you have been, those of you who do some like creative work, if you do some kind of like, if you're a writer or you do something creative or you've been wanting to do something creative or working on these side projects because that's what you're wanting to get into, I feel like you feel as though you've lost your inspiration or your drive, like you're feeling a little bit blocked. And I feel like as we're coming into this week, whether it's by a person that you're encountering or something that you're seeing or something shifting within yourself, you're getting that inspiration back. You're getting that fire back. You're getting unblocked. And I feel for a lot of you, you're doing a lot of work. You're being very productive. In a very short period of time, you're making a lot of progress and putting a lot out there. So like if you were writing and you've been blocked for like ever, it's almost as if that whole time that you've been blocked, you're doing that much time worth of, producing content in like a couple of weeks or within the week even. Content also made me think of social media. So some of you maybe have been wanting to do something in terms of social media or put yourself out there in terms of like being out there on social media, and you may have felt kind of stuck, like I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to get about it. And you're finding your inspiration. You may be coming across something and you're like, oh my gosh, I could totally do that. And I don't mean it in terms of copying. I don't mean that like you're seeing somebody and you're saying, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to totally steal their whole vibe. That's not what I mean. But you're like, that's easy. That's an easy setup. That's an easy format. I could do a format like that. And that's what I feel like you're coming into. Like it's giving you an idea of how to start, how to get moving. So some of you might be putting out content on social media for the first time ever. If you've already been doing social media, maybe you feel a little bit like a little bit stuck, as I said, but I feel like you guys are getting your creativity back. You're getting your fire back. The next card that's coming up here is the Ace of Swords, right? And this aligns with the Page of Wands perfectly. And I would like to indicate here the balancing of air and fire, right? These are good elements to be bringing in together. We don't want to be all action and no thought. So this is a very nice mix, if you ask me. And the Ace of Swords can be a truth being revealed, a victory, an accomplishment, an offer, defining the terms of a situation. A lot of the times for me, Ace of Swords comes in because there's a lot of unblocking and clearing happening in our crown chakra. And as I said, full moon is a time that we release. Even if you don't know how to do a release, like if you don't know how to like sit down and do a meditation, or if you don't know how to do some kind of, full moon situation, we will release quite naturally. It's a part of the cycle. It's a part of the flow. So I don't want you to freak out and worry and say, oh my gosh, what if I don't do it right? You could just set the intention and say a prayer and let your angels guide the rest. But with the Ace of Swords, a lot of the times, as I said, it comes up with the crown chakra unblocking. The crown chakra is where we process our thinking, our thoughts. So when I see the crown chakra unblocking, this is like you're going to be clearing limited thoughts, limited thinking, like self-judgments that don't serve you, false beliefs, false ideologies. Instead of doing things in a very difficult or complicated way, you're finding ways to work smarter, not harder, working more efficiently. Okay, like finding ways to make your time more productive, finding ways of making more profit, getting more with the work that you're putting out. And so it's efficiency. I see a lot of times coming up with the crown chakra unblocking. I've also said this in previous videos, within myself, with clients I've worked with, especially when I was doing energy healing work on people. I've noticed that when the crown chakra is unblocking, a lot of times the third eye will start to clear and open up as well. So some of you might be having increased intuition. Some of you may be having increased clairvoyance, as well as the crown chakra is unblocking. The next card that's coming up here for you guys is the Seven of Wands. Now, Aries, as I said, a lot of you are excited because things felt a little bit slow. Things maybe felt a little bit lackluster for a while. And now the energy is moving and you're wanting to strike while the iron is hot. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm finally in this flow. I finally have some movement. I finally got some ideas. And you're like, pushing forward. To me, Seven of Wands says, like stay steady. Keep it up, but stay steady. There's no need to go over the top. There's no need to be extra, right? Now that things are moving, you're like, oh my gosh, like for example, say you're doing something with social media and content and you put it out there and you're like, oh my gosh, I got so many views, or I'm getting subscribers, or I'm getting followers. Congratulations, wonderful. But don't fall into the trap where you're like, oh my gosh, well, what would be even better? What would be even better if I added in this, if I added in that, no. If it's working, stick with it, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes the Seven of Wands comes into me to say, don't be extra. Don't be extra. You're making good progress. You're on the right path. Just keep doing what you're doing. For some of you, I hate to say this, but it does happen, and I feel Spirit is showing me the energy like an older brother, like a kind of like a mean, bullying older brother. Not that all older brothers are mean and bullying. I'm sure there's plenty of mean, bullying older sisters as well. I'm not trying to stereotype anybody, but Spirit is showing me like this mean older sibling, like kind of like bully, like you have this progress coming your way, you have good things happening for you, and they're like making fun of you, or they're like, oh, you think you're a big deal now, or they're like trying to minimize your progress. It doesn't have to be a sibling. It could just be a romantic partner who's behaving that way. It could be a jealous coworker, a frenemy, but I feel like somebody's coming in and like, oh, well, you're a big deal now, I guess, or, whatever it might be. As you're making this progress, as you're starting to feel good about you, maybe you're changing your look, like I said, and then you see some, quote unquote friends, and they're like, oh, I like that for you. That's interesting for you. Like they might be saying like some backhanded compliment or something. Don't engage, because all this person wants to do is shake your confidence and bring you down. They don't have your best interest at heart. And you might feel like, well, let me try to explain to them why I'm doing this, or let me try to stand up for myself. Spirit is saying, look, you have all this energy coming in. You have all this energy to work with. You have all this personal energy. Do not waste it on them. Don't engage. They'll get bored. If you don't engage, they'll get bored. They'll go away. They'll leave you alone. But don't feel like you have to convince anybody or that you have to fight that fight. Your energy is best used elsewhere. Okay, don't let them pull you down. It's that whole crab of buckets thing, right? You put a bunch of crabs in a bucket and one starts crawling to the top. The ones beneath it yank it back down. They don't let each other rise. Don't pay it any mind. The second you pay it any mind, they're yanking you back down. You just keep moving forward. The next card coming up here for Aries is the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords, I'm telling you, is going to be about that Seven of Wands. Those of you who are encountering people who are making fun of you for what you're doing, or making it seem like it's not that big of a deal, or you think you're a big deal and it's not that big of a deal, or, you know, like judging you, or saying, oh, I don't think that shade of lipstick looks good on you, or oh, you shaved your head. What made you think you could shave your head? You have to have like a really specific head shape to do that, and all kinds of BS and all kinds of nonsense. Okay? It has nothing to do with how they feel about you. It's about how they feel about themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They're scared to try. They're scared to make an effort. And if they see you rising, then it's like, you know, they don't want to be accountable. They don't want to take ownership of their life. They just want to believe that everything sucks, that everything is hopeless, that everything is pointless, right? Misery loves company. And so when you see that there's people who aren't happy for you, who aren't cheering you along, who aren't clapping for you in the sidelines, that's gonna hurt. Because we see the truth of the situation, but this is a time of clearing. And not only clearing our own emotions, this Three of Swords could be a lot of you in this full moon energy getting a little bit emotional about the past and crying over people or situations or disappointments that happened a long time ago, but you just didn't have a chance to release it. And so it might be coming to the surface. And you may be releasing it. Some of you have heard me say with the Three of Swords, a lot of the times I see Three of Swords come up because there's a blessing coming your way. And obviously you guys are doing work. You're inspired. You're taking action. And action is going to produce profit. Action is going to produce harvest. It's going to produce, you know, it's going to produce, it's going to be productive for you. And so the Three of Swords comes up sometimes to show us who is not meant to receive in the blessing. The Three of Swords sometimes comes up just before the blessing comes in, right? You're not going to be far from it because you're active. You're taking steps in your life. It's going to pay off. And Spirit is showing who's not meant to be at the table. Okay? I don't mean to get all, you know, some people don't like it when I bring it up, but I feel like it's just been coming up and for the fire signs a lot for some reason. I'm not pushing religion on anybody, but sometimes Spirit will bring up something from the Bible because I like learned to read from a children's Bible, and there's a lot of stories and things from the Bible that are like in my head as like reference, and Spirit will bring it up. And we know the Last Supper, right? Jesus was about to encounter that last fight here on earth, and he excused Judas from the table. He told Judas, you're not meant to be here, and you're not going to benefit from the sacrifice I'm about to make. I'm making a sacrifice for everybody but you, buddy. You get out of here. You know, like you don't get to benefit from the gift that I'm about to give. You can leave the table. We don't always have the courage to ask somebody to leave the table or to tell somebody to leave the table. So the Three of Swords is like, it's being revealed to us so that we can let those relationships or those people fall away, so that they don't get to benefit. They don't get to have what we're giving or what we're about to receive. Okay? It's bittersweet, but you're on to bigger, better things. I feel like a lot of you are reinventing yourself, finding a way in which you're reinventing yourself, and you're going to have a lot of progress coming, and it's going to be beneficial. I feel that some of you are also going to be, like, I don't know what this is, but like I see you like taking your picture, putting your picture up. I don't know if you are coming out and like revealing yourself as like a life coach or a spiritual teacher, or you're telling your story and trying to inspire other people, or if you're coming into a position or opportunity where you are being promoted by a company or a business. But I also feel some of you are really being put out there, being put out there as like a it could be even like a spokesperson opportunity for some of you, or like you're getting to be like the face of a product or the face of an organization. Again, it's a general reading, and that won't be for every single one of you, but for some reason I'm seeing that. You might want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks your moon sign or rising sign might resonate for you more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do at calendly.com/amethystangelite. 2022 forecast, 12-month forecast. I'm about halfway through the zodiac wheel. I hope to get the other half up in the next couple of days. Those are linked in the description. Love readings for December are linked in the description. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful week, my dears. Take care.